Charlie. No BS. True story. Literally last night, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
2021, we had a goal. Could we move the youth vote 10 points over 10 years? And harmonize with this strategy by going on podcasting and using TikTok. Yeah, I mean, we did it in 4 years, not 10, large in part thanks to you guys.
And sincerely get to that because I want to stress test some of those fault lines as relates to the reality of our party and to that because I want to stress test some of those fault lines as relates to the reality of our party and where we are today.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. What's he doing with his hands there, right? All right, let's keep going.
First time in America's history that a 30-year-old is going to have it worse off than their parent. It's a breakdown of the social compact. They are the most alcohol addicted, most drug addicted, most suicidal, most depressed, most medicated generation in history. You're not going to have the same American dream that your parents would have. And we saw this as an opportunity, especially with young men. It became a cultural phenomenon where no matter what you threw at this guy, he rose above it. You didn't have to give him credit. I mean, facing 700 years in federal prison, states tried to kick him off the ballot. I know you spoke out against it, but California did have a faction that tried to kick him off the ballot, right? And being shot, and that was kind of the crescendo of all of it. He kind of became this figure of an American comeback story. He personified what a lot of young people, especially young men, wanted back in their politics, which was an ascendant rebel attitude against these institutions that have failed them so miserably. The biography's been written about a million times, but I mean, didn't go to college, wanted to go to West Point, didn't get in. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, love it.
Started this organization and it became far more successful than I ever could have realized. You have a sitting population of about 20 million kids that are there for 4 years. And also, again, the most support that President Trump has is voters under 30. 60% of voters under 30 support President Trump. Approximately.
In terms of just
Kamala Harris had to do was just do the same with younger voters that Joe Biden did in 2020. And she would be president now.
And remind us what Joe Biden did in 2020
It
with
was
younger
13 points better. 13 points better.
Just in order to do that, you've got to stand for some strategy and you got to implement it.
You also have to not believe crazy stuff. I had no money, no connections, and no idea what I was doing. And cardboard signs saying, debate me.
To be able to debate anybody at any time, anywhere, and in that environment, what is it?
Could be confidence. It'd also just be that I wanted to try and challenge the predominant view. I always loved debate and disagreement. I love the kind of spar. And yeah, I also find it to be exciting. And I wanted to try to, figure out where my idea is actually that good.
And you study it?
Less about debate. I mean, debating is a practice that can really only be refined, with lots of routine and reps and repetition. Just more about studying, the great books, philosophy.
Right.
All those studying, the great books, philosophy.
All right, I'm just going to redo this really fast with you guys. Try to keep this shorter. I mean, great books. He doesn't mention the Bible or anything else. No. It's philosophy, right? The great books. Can we have common ground with club members? We can be courteous. We can talk with them, just like you talk with your neighbors. But no, we do not have common ground. So here are 5 of my biggest red flags. That's one, just going on his show and talking with someone who is a club member, right? Yeah. And even posing in a picture with him, looking all happy, sharing this whole video on both their websites, right? Since now Gavin Newsom has his own podcast. So yeah, he might be wanting to be a president one day, as I've heard Charlie Kirk say in a different video. But no, plain and simple, I would not pose with a club member. I would not interview them at all if I knew they were in the club. Does he do a lot of good? Absolutely. He does a lot of great things. He answers questions on the spot with youth about God, about the Bible, about truth. But is it all true? He has a lot of connections, right? Candace Owens, David Harris Jr. He's been with Trump from day one. He sits there with Vance. He's even had some identity gender talks with, look at that, John MacArthur, Jack Hibbs. He's in the CPAC. He's created the Turning Point, which has become a huge phenomenon. So yeah, he's got a large connection. And look at that Freemason hand sign. So there's my 2, add 2 more. So there's 3 now, red flags. Right. Candace Owens, with the whole shirt situation, right? I don't need to get in that. I have a whole different video. Just wanted to share why I have my concerns about her. But you guys have heard me talk about her so many times. I'm just going to leave it there. Look, Charlie has been on the news, on various, mostly Fox News, yeah. But That's the biggest red flag right there. We know how corrupt the organization is. And this one with all her plastic surgery, oh, I don't know. She is looking so manly, by the way. So there's 4 red flags. What is my 5th one? This one right here. Him and his hand signed with Candace Owens. Ah, yes, with Ben Shapiro there too. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, I looked at his faith forward, noticed some pastors in there too. Oh, Lance Wallnau, right. Jitenzen Franklin. Very interesting. I'm sure there were some very good conferences. There were good speakers, I'm sure. But I wanted to see if there was possibly any connection with Kirk and the Grand Master, Nicholas Papanicolaou. And yes, lo and behold, I found them at some round table, having conversations with Jerry Boykin, Rick Joyner. And of course, you'll see Lance Wallnau, Cindy Jacobs. Let's make that a little bigger so you can see it really clear. Nigel Big Pond, right? Steve Strang, the publisher of Charisma magazine. There's many other names. Maybe you know some, maybe you don't. I'm just saying, I don't trust anyone, and especially when they have their connections. This guy, he's connected in all shapes and forms with pastors like Dr. Parrott, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Of course, Rick Joyner. So I'm just saying, gathering there. Look at that, gathering of the knights. Wow, because he is a Grand Prior. He's not just a Knights of Malta member. He's a Grand Prior, which means he's higher up. He's done a lot of good. And as for Steve Strang, yeah, showing that claw, the Freemason hand sign, just like Pat Roberts showed. Oh boy, and he's connected to so many. I don't need to even go into all that. Charisma magazine is where he's at. He has to be somewhat connected, right? But yeah, we understand. So yeah, too many are associated with this Grand Master and also Jerry Boykin, George Parrott. I was going to show you more, and in the previous video, I went over who this man was. Look, you can find the information. I'll leave the links, but he's, wow. He is the Grand Master, lives in West Palm Beach, has also lived in New York, so he's connected to Trump. He has to be. And as for all the pictures that have been taken down of Mr. Lance Wallnau and him together on stage, they can take them all down, but sorry, everything will be revealed in the final days like the Bible says, and we will know the truth. I lack time, but God has this in me to share this information because I really believe that more people need to see and understand the truth, and they don't need to be trusting and putting their trust in men, in pastors, and whoever else, because they have and they are fully connected to these grandmasters. And we need to be trusting in God alone. One last clip I wanted to share that was in my original video, so let's take a quick listen to what this young man had to say talking with Charlie Kirk.
And receive 2 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins absolutely free.
You often complain about these communist elites that just attributes make someone's part of this communist elite that you complain about so often.
Being a communist and being an elite.
Okay, what makes someone part of this elite?
They could be part of the World Economic Forum like Klaus Schwab. It could be someone that's very wealthy that runs some of the major companies on the planet.
Okay, so like Elon Musk? Is he one of the elites?
Well, he's not communist, but he is an elite.
Okay. Why should we succumb to the whims of these elites as opposed to,
Well, it's a good question, actually. I think we need better elites, and I think Elon's a great manifestation of that.
He's a good manifestation, but he's an elite just like Trump, just like all the others. But I love how he questions him. But look how he defends him in the next statement and talking about the Rockefeller, how he was great. Hold on, just take a listen.
We're never going to get rid of elites. You see, our country was largely propelled thanks to great elites like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller and people like Bernard Baruch. in the 1940s or 50s. We're never going to get rid of elites. Elon Musk is the best of this example, using his wealth and his treasure to reinvest back in the country.
Is he really investing all that much in this country?
He's investing his time.
How many elites do you know invest time? Oh, they invest a lot of time. They invest a lot of money. They do a lot of good. What is it for? To cover up all the corrupt and despicable stuff that they do. Wow. Talking about Rockefeller like he's great. Wow.
We're never going to get rid of elites. Elon Musk is the best of this example, using his wealth and his treasure to reinvest back in the country.
Is he really investing all that much in this country?
He's investing his time. He did something he should always be remembered. He gave hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure Kamala Harris did not become president of the United States.
Okay,
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Does it?
Kamala Harris, he, she, whatever that is. I mean, club member, just like, Biden. Yeah. And just like, yeah, Musk. They're all in the same clubs. I don't need to repeat it over and over again, but many don't want to listen to how J.D. Vance was co-founder of Palantir. Peter Thiel spoke at Trump rally years ago, and Palantir, who was an investor, they accepted money from none other than George Soros. But many don't want to listen to that. No, they would rather just keep on going and trusting in Vance, trusting in Trump. But we know that he was just a snake, and people just took him in. Oof. Well, anyway, we all know it's a show. I don't need to say it over and over and over again. They're all affiliated in these clubs. They all belong to some kind of club. Sometimes you just can't find it so easily, but we know, and we don't put our trust in people. We don't put our trust in news or elites or anyone else. We put our trust in God and God alone. That's what we're put here on earth, is to find God, find Jesus, and accept him, because he is the only way to the Father. That is the only way. There's only one way, and it's a narrow path. And in these last times, many will grow cold. We need to just keep holding on to his word and keep trusting in him and stand with him alone. Anyway, just thought I'd share. Tried to make this quick for you guys to redo that last video because the sound was so horrible. All right, God bless you guys. Take care. Let's have a great week. Till next time.